Derek Ball, you've returned to Ireland and to music after 30 years in Scotland and working in medicine. Has it felt like a homecoming in both senses to you?
A homecoming? I think music is something I should never have left. Quite seriously, I think I made a little error doing medicine. I enjoyed it. It was a very good career. I probably did a little bit of good while I was there, but if I had my life to live over again, I would have done music. I would have specialised, would have done a music degree, and I would have spent my whole life in music. I'll let you ask the questions. But
well, because of course you left Ireland in '78, I think, to go to Scotland and to take up
78, yes.
a medical post, a position there. And I've only just returned again. You retired recently, and I've only just returned to writing music again. I'm just curious to know what role music played in your life while you were having another career.
Yes. During my time in medicine, I never stopped involvement with music. I was always involved in some aspect of it, and I was always composing a little bit. But medicine swallows up all your time and all your energy. So I mean, you'd start work at 8:30 in the morning. You'd often be still at it at 8:30, 9, 10 at night, and you'd take work home. So it was in terms of time and energy, it was very demanding.
Not dissimilar to music and to composing.
Well, I'd say music is relaxing by comparison. So you do have to put on you have to put in a lot of hours in music, but they're not. It's not a vast effort. It doesn't drain you. I think music's invigorating actually. Other kinds of work take it out of you. I think music kind of adds to your life. Unsuspecting performers will have a little chat with me, and then a few weeks later they'll get a piece, you know. Or just for example, Paul Rowe, the clarinetist, he had a piece in the on the website, on the CMC website, a month or two ago. He did a little interview, and I read that, and almost immediately I wrote him a piece, and went along to his house and workshopped it. So it's things like that.
What was it he had said that prompted you to do that?
He said something about liking to work with composers. He didn't like the idea of a composer just sitting down and writing a piece and then handing it over. He liked the idea of collaborating, helping the composer out with technical aspects. Now, I'm a clarinetist actually. I can play the clarinet in a kind of way. So I've got a little head start, but if I'm writing a clarinet piece, there are things that a professional can tell you, sometimes very obvious things that we don't think of because we're not playing all the time. So it was that simple fact, that simple idea that triggered off something in my mind, and the idea itself was a million miles away then, but the idea was something that couldn't simply be written down. It had to be helped along by a sort of workshopping process.
De happe harle ne brachbron a pian cool na skarut. Wat no soul tiglin na haru godain in ein tlialand.
The interest in ancient Mexican culture, in Aztec culture, came from Gabriel Rosenstock. He enthused me about it, and we're working on a big project that will have singing, dancing, costume, mask. It'll have a bit of everything. It'll be a sort of totally unified art form. Nothing will be left out. And of course we're looking for a promoter of some sort to take it on. We're writing it on spec. It's a new poem about an Aztec god called Xolotl. That's the name of the poem. That's where the name of the poem comes from. Aztec god. It's all rather bizarre. Dreamlike and probably tequila influenced.
Ma hidden groine, voine, groine, ele tern of light.
One of the things that you're putting a lot of energy into recently is opera, which you describe yourself as a new convert to.
Yes, yes, just in the last 2.5 years, more or less since I retired from medicine. Yes, I've become a sudden opera composer.
And this is without having written particularly much for the voice previously. I mean, Xolotl, to that extent, is a...
I'd started that, yes, that's right. And I wrote a few songs, and just about nothing, one choral piece, and nothing else, I'd say.
So what was the Damascene moment for you? What was the thing that kind of made you think, this is a form that I can work in and can say things in?
It was a conversation. I think there might have been two moments where something happened. One was I was in the audience at the premiere of Gerald Barry's Petra von Kant, and I was thinking to myself, well, I'm not an opera composer, I couldn't do anything like that. And then I had a conversation with the person who became my first librettist, and he just made the throwaway comment, wouldn't that be a good operatic subject? And I sort of initially said, well, I don't write operas.
And which piece was that, and what was the subject?
So that's a piece that became Re Your Tears.
2-hour piece, a substantial piece.
2+ hours, yes. It's sort of about 2.5 hours in total, and it's 6 acts. I think only 5 of the acts are in the library, probably. But it's quite a big piece. The first opera I wrote, and I just went for it. A full orchestra and 8 soloists.